Jackie Evancho with Behind My Eyes. Welcome back. It is the Country Viewpoint here on your colour of country life, Flow FM. Time to switch our focus back to the agriculture scene, this time in regional South Australia. And Timothy Eckert joins me on the line. He's going to be one of the participants in the Australian Grain Leaders Program in 2024, and he also farms in Meningie in South Australia. Timothy, lovely to have you with us. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Alice. How about yourself?
Not doing too badly at all, and thanks for your time, Tim. Now, let's get into it. Why don't you start off by telling us about your background? You're obviously a farmer there in Meningie. What are things like in Meningie as far as the lay of the land goes, and how's the current season treating you?
I guess for Meningie, the lay of the land is, I guess we find it fairly variable. We run a mixed enterprise here. At Mentara Park. Season so far has been probably slightly below average in terms of rainfall, but we're currently in the middle of harvest at the minute, and I'd have to say I'm very pleased with what's coming off so far.
Okay, and are you a generational farmer there, Timothy? Have you always wanted to do this?
Yes, correct. Yeah, so I was born in Meningie, local boy to the Meningie area. So have been here my whole life. I did my schooling at Meningie. Come home, left school, come straight home on the farm in 2011, and have been here ever since. So that's, I guess, 12 years now. Farm alongside mum and dad and my brother Matt. Plan to do so for many years to come.
All right, tell us about some of the challenges that you're facing there in South Australia. We've spoken a lot more with eastern states-based farmers, but not as many in South Australia in recent times, so you're the perfect person to ask this. What are some of the big challenges that you're facing right now?
So for us is probably one big challenge that we're facing is as we increase production, we have highly variable soil types. So we are doing a full soil amelioration program currently, and that's in full swing. So that's trying to overcome some constraints, the hard panning, acidic sand, and trying to utilise every drop of rainfall that we're each year.
Okay, and just whilst we're on the topic of your home state and where you farm there, Timothy, just tell us a bit more about Meningie, the community. Is there a big farming community there, and what's it been like growing up in that town?
It's actually been a great little community to grow up in. I feel in my class at school, I wouldn't have said there was full of farmers, but that was all right. It's a fairly large farming area around. You've got the local sporting club, and although I never played a lot of sport myself because I was just wanted to get home, wanted to be on the farm, wanted to be around and just help Dad, I suppose. I guess spent most of my time out on the land, and I think it's a great little community that we have. We have a local hall, Meningie Hall, that used to have a tennis club, but unfortunately is no longer. But we've managed to carry the hall on with what we call we have a local community trial site there, ran by the local agronomist, which we have a fair bit to do with, and that has been another great initiative by our agronomists to allow our local area to try and, I guess, adapt or trial different practices to overcome constraints, some unique constraints that we have in our area. So I think that's been a fantastic thing, and it brings the community together every so often as we have walk through trial days and barbecue evenings. So I think that's been a fantastic thing for our community in general.
Timothy Eckert, the Meningie farmer in South Australia. We'll keep chatting to him right after this short break. Stay tuned. Guy Sebastian with I Chose Good, and welcome back. You're listening to the Country Viewpoint on Flow FM. I'm speaking with the Meningie-based farmer Timothy Eckert. He's going to be one of the Australian Grain Leaders participants in 2024. So we're profiling him, and he joins me again on the line. Now, Timothy, just more broadly with regards to the farming community across the country, we've seen acts of sections of farmers trying to put pressure on the government because there seems to be this sentiment out there that, farmers are the forgotten people right now, when a lot of people in, city-based parts of the country don't often recall the fact that their food all comes from the farmers. So just looking at a lot of different broad issues right now, like the whole telephone wires issue across lots of Victorian and New South Wales parts of the countries. We're seeing rallies happening in Sydney and Canberra. Do you feel as though the messages are being heard right now?
Yeah, I would feel as though. I think it's one thing I think has been powerful through farming is social media. I do believe as a farming community we are gaining a little bit of momentum there due to all the great people that make these social media accounts, and obviously I follow quite a few of them, and I think it put the word out there and doesn't not as foreign to most people anymore. If you're a city folk and you've got a little bit of an interest in how it happens on the land, you can follow a lot of great pages on things like Facebook and Instagram, and I think that is certainly closing the gap. The connectivity is getting better, and I hope we can continue to increase that with things like the faster internet and satellite connectivity through GPS systems and all of that. So yeah, I believe the message is getting heard. Still room to move forward, but I do believe compared to probably back 10 or 15 years ago that there is a lot more understanding out there as we gain a little bit of momentum on those platforms.
Yeah, and those are all very important issues that we often raise on this program. Let's get into what's happening with you next year, Timothy. So the Australian Grain Leaders program, you'll be a part of this as one of the participants. How did it come about, and what does it mean for you to be involved in this?
Well, to be honest, it all come about. I've been to 3 of the GrainGrowers Innovation Generation conferences now. I jumped in the ute and drove to Wagga, was the first one I went to, and that's how it all sort of come about, and I've found them very valuable to the simple fact of the networking. I remember very clearly, I drove to Wagga, never knew a soul, walked in a room and met a bloke by the name of Dennis, and we've been great mates ever since. Dennis was a guy from Sydney who was in the ag sector on a very different scale. He was on the market side of things, and I've found it very invaluable to have that connection due to the fact that I would have, if I never been to the GrainGrowers thing, I would have never met him, and he's visited the farm a couple of times now, so I feel as if it's helped him understand farming, and he's helped me understand markets. So yeah, been to the three conferences now. The last one I went to, I was sitting at the table, and one of my mates gave me a nudge and said that it would be a great idea. He had participated last year and reckoned it's very valuable. Has been very valuable to him, and would be a great thing to have a go at. And yeah, so I put my application in and was very surprised to be successful. So yeah, I look forward to not only, I guess, the networking side of it, but I guess for my personal development as well, sort of to handle, I guess, for myself to handle the modern challenges of farming moving forward, I suppose. That would probably be the best way I could put it.
Timothy Eckert is the Meningie-based farmer in South Australia. He'll be a part of the Grain Leaders program in 2024. Really, really appreciate your time, Tim, and all the best with everything going forward.
You're very welcome. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Timothy Eckert, the Meningie-based farmer, speaking to us in our second hour of the Country Viewpoint today. Plenty more coming your way. Don't touch those dials.